Flood tide is a sonification of the River Thames. In other words, it makes music out of the flow of the river. And I do that by putting a sensor in the river which simply reads the speed of the incoming tide, which is the flood tide, and I convert the speed of the river through a computer process into notation read by 4 live musicians. The musicians actually read C notation on a computer screen, and they pretty much just read the notation that comes up. There is a slight area of flexibility. It's rather primitive notation, so I've had to explain to them how to interpret the primitiveness of it, if you like, and that does give them a little bit of freedom as well, a little bit of artistic license. And we spent a bit of time in our sort of one proper rehearsal interpreting, learning how to interpret the music. There's a lot quite experimental about the sort of technology and sort of creative ideas behind it. I will say that what I'm most interested in is getting a sort of very literal representation of the data. I haven't done much to sort of flower up the data. So what I expect the musicians to do is to simply read the instructions that come, and if the tide is weak or it finishes, they just stop. There's no sort of faking it. So it's genuinely experimental, and in today's performance I don't know precisely when it'll begin, and I don't know how long it will go on for, and I don't know what the actual nature of the musical content will be. It will depend a lot on the readings that I get from the tide today. Well, I'd certainly love to extend the ideas of flood tide, to do it in other locations, to sonify other bits of river, maybe not just the Thames. So it could be done in other rivers around the country, and in fact any bit of tidal water in the UK or abroad even. I guess I have slightly romantic ideas about travelling around doing the piece, maybe working with local musicians and whatever local characteristics there are.